Jed, you're a former service member as well too. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey here.
Okay, so um, born in North Carolina and
North Carolina.
moved all over because my dad was in the army. I've actually lived here in Hawaii longer than I've lived anywhere else. So I've been here, I think on my birthday, I'll be 16 years.
Wow.
So, um, as far as getting into bodybuilding, that started when I was real young, really young. I had hit puberty late, so everybody was always bigger than I was. And I always got this concept, like I was always a fat kid. So I always thought if I looked better, I'd get more respect and get, things that everybody else had just by
The
looking better.
ladies too.
Yes, that
Mm.
friends, recognition, clout, and it never happened, no matter how hard I lifted. But and then it's funny because I still have to battle that concept today. I still have to tell myself that I I have to not think about that because it still hits me. Like sometimes I'll think, well, I don't look good enough, and that's why this happens and that happens. This person acts like that towards me. It's a concept I still have in my head that I have a hard time dealing with.
Mm.
So, and if you guys know, I'm always trying to get leaner and dieting and stuff. I'm always eating structured and stuff. I have
Oh
a
yeah.
hard time loosening up because I have that fear
Oh yeah.
that if I get out of shape or if I backtrack, then people are going to think differently of me like that. And I have to constantly tell myself to get through that because
Mm.
that's from me being a kid.
Right.
So what ended up happening was I hit puberty late. My sophomore year of high school, I remember I blew up and people stopped picking on me. So I was like, well, I'm on the right track. So, and I wanted to play football. So I lifted for that a lot. Wasn't really into bodybuilding because Dorian Yates was big then. I thought he looked disgusting. And I was like, he was
Yeah,
coming
you didn't
out.
like it.
He was
I
coming
liked it.
out. Ronnie was coming in.
Yeah.
And I was like, now who would want to look like these guys? And then I came across it was either a hammer strength or the old school muscle tick out with Jay Cutler. And
Mm.
I was like, if I could look like that, I'd be fucking bodybuilding tomorrow because he had a smaller waist then, the blonde hair, his quads were feathered. This dude looked ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, if I could look like that. And then I flipped. So like he pretty much is the reason I switched gear and from football to bodybuilding because that's
Mm.
when I saw that type of physique, I was like, that's what I would want to look like.
Yeah.
Of course, it never happened. But um, so I went all through high school, did pretty good in football actually. Did pretty good. I had to because a lot of other kids were pretty talented. They could play other sports during the off season. The off season, I was in the gym. Summertime, I was at the track running wind sprints and stuff because I was always fat and out of shape. So I got the
You were
concept.
you were that
If I
guy.
started earlier, I could play more because I'd be better. And eventually, it started happening because I played varsity all 4 years, only
Oh yeah.
because not because I was good, but the varsity team would do 2-a-day practices, and I would go early and practice with them just to get reps. So when JV practice and started and they tried to get me down, the coach was like, "He's been with us, he's staying here." And I played varsity all 4 years.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good.
because I showed up early and practiced with them, he's like, "You're not going back down to JV because you've been here working with us the whole time." Now I
Yeah.
didn't play a fucking
Right. I
snap,
was gonna say,
but
but at least it was
there was
cool.
me and one of my buddies. We both did, and we both got to stay on the team.
Yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
but by the time I was a senior, I was all conference. I played center, long snapped. I was an all conference lineman.
Oh nice.
Not big enough to go to college anywhere though with the scholarship. So I um I went further into the bodybuilding thing, so I wasn't playing football anymore. And then I stayed out of school for a couple years and I went to college and there I just fell off like drinking all the time. Like
Oh.
drinking so much, I stopped going to class. I
Mm.
just woke up and was like, fuck it, I'm not
Wait,
going
how old were
anymore.
you?
Um
Illegal drinking,
no,
weren't
no,
you?
no, no,
No,
no,
no.
no, no, no.
Illegal drinking. No,
I
just
didn't go
kidding.
to
I
college
don't
till I
care.
was 21.
Oh, so you were
I
already
was
in
20,
20s.
21
Oh,
years old.
so yeah, I never got into really drinking a lot
Yeah.
ever. And maybe later I would drink more. But when I was that age,
Yeah.
I wasn't into it, man.
I
I was into
graduated at
just lifting.
17. I worked as a machinist at this apprenticeship. I was actually for that time and age, I was making decent money.
What was the reason why you think you got into like drinking and all that? I mean, why do you? Because you were lifting already, right? I
Man,
mean,
well, I
because it
mean, being
doesn't
from the
go
South, we know how
together.
to fucking party.
Well, yeah, but
And when I was losing weight, because when I first got to high school, I had hit like 260. And so I started dieting and losing weight. And actually, when my first year out of high school, I dropped 60 pounds. That was back when Xanadry and all the ephedrine
oh yeah,
products were
Oh
the
yeah,
shit,
the
right?
good stuff.
So I got pretty lean. I got down to 190. And being 17, you can still go out and drink and shit on the weekends, and you can still lose
Yeah,
weight.
right,
So I had
right.
this pattern where I would diet hard, no carb through the week, and then I would go out on Saturday nights. And when I went to college, I was like, "Oh, you guys start drinking on Thursdays here?" So, so
Like,
I you know, I
Thirsty,
I
thirsty.
I gained all the weight back, and you guys have seen on my Instagram some of the pictures I've posted with the long hair and the beard and stuff. I had put all that weight back on. I stopped lifting. I mean, I was like waking up and shotgunning beers and then walking into work.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was bad. Um, so I stopped going to college. I stopped going to class, and I failed out. And we, one of my buddies, we were at a party. One of my buddies told me he just signed up for the Navy.
Mm.
I can't remember if he told me that I should look into it or if I just said, no, that sounds like a good idea. And I called my dad. My dad's like, that's dumb. You're not going to do well. I
Oh,
said,
really?
yeah, because I mean, looking at me at that point in time, you easily could have said that.
Mm.
But I was doing nothing. I was living paycheck to paycheck in a apartment. The apartment was nice, but just drinking and going to work, and I had nothing going for me. So I was like, at least I can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I went to a recruiter. He looked at me and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here." I had hair down my back, beard. I was like flat gut, hairy as shit because I wasn't shaving back then. And it was a big BM and a CTM one. And they were like, "Dude, get the fuck out of here." And I said, "All right, I'll be back." 3 months later, I showed up and they were like, they didn't even know I was the same person. I was 180 pounds. I was like, I knew how to get in shape
Yeah.
because I did it when I got to high school and I was reading, I was reading Flex and Muscle and Fitness and reading all these articles. And that's where in muscular development, that's where I got all my initial information from and from guys in the gym that helped me out.
Yeah.
So I showed up and they measured my waist and they were like, okay, the next, I think in like 6 months, you'll leave. And then I remember I was at Lowe's Hardware. I was working there and I got a call and he was like, hey, man, they just moved it up. You can leave next week. And I said, get me the fuck out of here. So I was in Great Lakes
Mhm.
and I did that.
Michigan.
And I got stationed. I went to Pensacola for A school. Then I came here to
Yeah.
Wahiwa, right? So and then I got back into partying and shit because being a sailor, that's what we do. It's Navy is fucking work hard, play hard. I love it. But I was still working out religiously and stuff, but I really wasn't getting a lot of results because in the off time we partied a lot and shit. But I started reading personal training books, and actually I helped a buddy in there win a contest when I was in there. I trained. He did one of the armed forces at Sharkey Theater, 2005 or 6, 7 around there,
Mm.
and he won. And he won his class. Some big jacked Marine won the overall. He couldn't help that. He was too small. But I started really getting back into bodybuilding like I was when I was in high school. So I said, man, I'm going to get out and start doing this start training people and get into this. This is what I want to do because out of, me being ADHD as shit, the one thing I cannot, the one thing I have never gotten tired of is going to the gym and reading and watching all the Matsuro Kabi videos. I'd watch
Yeah.
those fucking things every day. Like every Jay Cutler DVD I had, and I would just burn them out.
Yeah. No.
So I knew that was the path I needed to go.
Yeah.
So I got out, worked at GNC for a little bit, got my certs, went to Powerhouse, was there for like 6, 7 years, and came here.
Yeah.
Now, when I got out of the Navy, I stopped drinking. So that was 13 years ago because they'd put me on medication for anxiety, and we went to the Paradise Cup. That was when it was 2008. So he thought it was there guest posing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was when all the big names still came down. I don't know if that was. No. That was 2011. That was later on.
Actually, I remember that one.
2011
Yeah, I
because that was
remember
November
11.
2011.
That's right.
So he might have been at that one. But
I think it was.
I had 2 beers and the medication only had fucked me up, and I had to have a friend drive me home.
Oh.
So I said, "Oh, I guess I can't." And I, being a trainer, it's not like working at a hardware store where you can show up hungover. Like you can't do that being a trainer. So I stopped.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at how easy it was for me to quit. I got through 2 weekends and I was fine. I realized how much more shit I could do if I wasn't laying around fucking hungover all day.
Right.
So I just stopped.
Smart.
So yeah, and then I went to Powerhouse, really learned how to hustle there because you kind of have to. Not saying it's a bad thing. But was over there for 6 or 7 years, and then I heard about your gym.
Mm.
I remember I came over. It was before it was. I told you I was going to start January 2nd. I came over that December, and I saw all the equipment from like back when I was a kid and shit. And I was like, oh, I got to come in here and work.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, and I mean, I've competed a few times and stuff, but nothing ever great became of it. The only thing I did was learn a lot that I used to help other people. I just, I think like I said a couple episodes ago, I had to deal with the fact that I'm just not built to bodybuild. Now I can get leaner, maybe can get a little bigger, but as far as like that freakish shit, I'll never get no matter how much shit I take.
Yeah.
So I guess that pretty much that's a long-winded sums it up.